Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Taurus rising signs, or if you have significant Taurus placements and are needing a neutral energy to help balance masculine and feminine energies within yourself, then this reading may be for you. So, of course, only take what resonates. Use your discernment as well. I feel like I'm getting this sort of intuitive message for somebody, and usually that comes through sort of like a story. This one coming from my time as a teacher. So first of all, there's a name Charles coming through. I don't know who that's for. But anyway, so maybe you know somebody named Charles who's a teacher or something like that, because this story's coming from when I was a chemistry teacher. So that wasn't for very long. I was a teacher for about 2 years, and I was like, no, that's it. I'm not doing that anymore. But this story is about, it's not an easy message for somebody, but I feel like it needs to be heard by someone. So when I was a teacher, very beginning of my teaching career, I was teaching a chemistry class. And chemistry classrooms are always sort of interesting. So the way that my classroom was set up is that right behind me, like where I stood to teach, there was a prep room, which like sort of stores chemicals and all that, right? Like chemicals for labs and things. So all the chemicals were just sort of stored right behind me in a prep room. And that prep room was shared with another teacher. So there on the other side of the prep room was another classroom. And when I first got there, when I first started teaching there, the teacher that I was replacing kept the doorway between those two prep rooms open. So it's kind of like the other teacher on the other side could sort of like come into my classroom through that prep room. If that makes sense. It was kind of just like a passage through our classrooms. And that door was open for a really long time. And there was this one day. So this is coming through as being sort of like, perhaps maybe Taurus, you're revisiting a past energy that I feel like there was not a lot of clarity about that situation, or that like perhaps you were in sort of like a negative emotional state maybe, or just like it was, for me personally, the way that this story is coming through, that was like a really tough, dark time in my life. Like that was pretty much dark night of the soul, that kind of energy in that space. So I don't know if that's where you are now, or that you're looking back on that time in your life. So take that part how it resonates. Anyways, so the part of this story that's wanting to come through is that one day I was like preparing for a lab in the prep room. So I was getting a whole bunch of chemicals prepared. There was, I think I can't even remember what I was doing. It was something to do with like metals, right? Like very, very non-reactive metals. Generally, I was just gathering them and like putting them on the counter so that I could see what I was working with. And then I had to go and teach a class. So I left the chemicals out, the metals out, which I feel like was probably not the smartest thing to do, but I left them out. And I remember this part very clearly, that I was like meticulously looking at each label of the chemicals that I was taking out, right? Like just to make sure that I was getting all the right things, that I was getting all the things that I needed and all of that. And then I went to go teach my class. I came back and getting all the chemicals and going to bring them to my classroom. And there was something in the pile of chemicals that I had taken out. There were all sort of metals, but there was one that was not something that I had taken out myself. Like, I hadn't removed that chemical from the shelf and put it in my pile there. And when I read the label, right, the one thing that was out of place, when I read the label, it was a chemical that was extremely dangerous when mixed with all of the other metals that I had placed out on the table already. So it was the one thing that should not have been mixed with what I had out. And I remember that very clearly because I did not put that there. And so it's coming through like this because my intuition was telling me through anger, actually, through like so much anger and actually like just the sense of like alarm that the person who shared the prep room with me was the one who had put that there. Because there were some other instances before this where I had felt sort of like an energy of like, this person is not a friend. So to like just be cautious of my energy around that person. There were a lot of instances before that I was ignoring because, you know, whatever. And this occurrence of like a dangerous chemical being placed in sort of the things that I had been preparing, which this person had seen me doing. And so I don't know, Taurus, why this story exactly is coming through. I feel like there may be somebody around you that you cannot trust is how it's coming through. Somebody that you can't trust. Or it could be from the past where you're receiving confirmation about somebody that you can't trust, but through a lens of clarity. Because how I was seeing this, like what was being shown to me were like from this deck, specifically the Alchemy deck, and the cards Fog and Glass, right? So the period of time that I was in there, teaching was sort of for me a fog energy. Absolutely. It was about clearing the fog for me, but through a lot of tough lessons. So that was the energy of fog, where like perhaps you're actually seeing something, or like perhaps your intuition was telling you something about somebody that you can't trust, but because the environment or the situation was unclear, maybe you didn't trust yourself about what your intuition was telling you about that person or something like that. And if you're out of that situation now, it's like there's perhaps clarity coming in, or confirmation, I want to say. It feels like confirmation that whatever it is that you initially felt in that unclear situation is now becoming clear or confirmed for you. That's how it's coming through. And it's coming through kind of difficult because I feel like it is something that you didn't think that you, like, anybody would be capable of doing, or that, like, perhaps you had too much trust. Perhaps there was trust broken, right? That could be really heartbreaking. Like, if somebody breaks your trust or actively tries to I don't know, like discredit or sabotage you. That's the thing. The word sabotage, I was just, for me, feels so like almost like cartoonish, right? Like the coyote energy, right? Like sabotages the roadrunner. It feels cartoony. Anyways, so I feel like, I don't know why that story's coming through. I feel like for somebody it's confirmation about perhaps an energy around you, perhaps very close to you, that you can't trust, because I don't know, there's something off about their energy, or that it's like they're the way that they one thing about this person that that also confirmed this for me is that, like, in a staff meeting once, this person like stood up and started talking about this like teaching method that they were using, that they were telling everybody in the staff meeting was really successful. This method is so successful. All of the students are learning a lot. It's like, if you come into my classroom, you'll see that everybody's learning. But I had a different perspective because our classrooms were were linked, I should say. They were a direct neighbor to me, and oftentimes there was like we could hear what was going on in each other's classrooms, right? That was not the story that I was seeing. Anyways, so I'm just going to leave that like that, Taurus. I'm going to pull the cards out. Take that if it resonates for you. Otherwise, just enjoy the free story time. So, the great work. The great work. This talks about showing up every day and doing the work. I'm going to read the description for that one. And the new pearl. That talks about grit and perseverance. And the chaos card at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like, so the chaos card is coming in as being sort of like, so this card talks about a lot of things sort of happening, like an overwhelming amount of perhaps energy or things like that. Perhaps you're surrounded by a lot of change at the moment, or that there's a lot of change happening in your situation that may be making it difficult to concentrate on a particular thing, like on your work, perhaps, or something that you're focused on. Okay, so the great work, attention, devotion, and vocation. The magnum opus shimmers in the distance, promising purpose, achievement, and understanding. When will we get there? When will our efforts be recognized? Amidst pressure and expectations, we come to realize each alchemist's life is an accumulation of moments in which attention is placed upon a subject within the laboratory. The artist draws a single line, the poet scribes a single word, the rose forms a single leaf. The magnum opus card reminds us that the alchemical garden grows from seeds tended to by devoted hands and the grace of sun, water, and earth. You cannot force the great work. You cannot claim it or complete it. This card arrives to whisper words of encouragement. You are in the right place, the most important place for you. This is the alchemical garden. Tend to the youngest growth. Be delicate and precise. One day at a time. The alchemist knows that the great work occurs without realizing it, as it is a collaboration with the divine. And the new pearl talks about sort of like something new is happening, right? That requires like grit or perseverance, and that it is, that the ocean is your ally is always a phrase that sticks out to me for this card, where it's kind of like just allow it to flow is how it's feeling to me. That there's something about like not pushing something, because it feels kind of like if there's like an energy of it feeling like forced, or like you're trying to do something that's actually not perhaps beneficial, or that it's like not accomplishing what it is that you think it's accomplishing, is how it feels. So it's kind of like you don't have to push it. You don't have to force something. I feel like something's just gonna grow naturally is how it's feeling. Like, it's like there's not that much you have to do is how it's coming through. And if there is, like, you will know. It'll be shown to you. The Dark Lady. Oh, that's really fascinating. This card talks about unconscious power as well. It is also like an initiation card, but also kind of deals with things that are like tricky, or that there's like difficulty. But this card talks about releasing something, like it is sort of like a pause or a timeout, or like the moment of pause that transports you from one phase of your life to another is how it's coming through. Maybe somebody is going through some sort of dark night of the soul, but it's like you're about to release that or step into some sort of new thing with the new pearl, like releasing a really difficult period in your life. That is perhaps shifting into something, but I feel like it's something that you're not aware that you are doing is how it's coming through with the great work. It's not something that you are aware that is happening for you, perhaps, that maybe it's happening unconsciously, or the universe is almost like carrying you to the next thing is how it's feeling. So you may not be aware of this, but it's like, pay attention to, because this card also talks about things like pay attention to what's growing around you in order to see what seeds have been planted, right? Because I'm seeing this as like there are things that are being revealed to you now, perhaps, or like the beginning of growth in seeds that were planted a long time ago, perhaps. I feel like it's a very positive change where it's like interesting. Maybe you're not supposed to talk about it yet. Maybe it's something that is hidden for a reason, is how it's coming through. Hidden for a reason. Okay, the new pearl. Okay. Oh, that gnome. So this card talks about creative chaos. I'm going to read the description for that, and the Singer of Courage at the bottom of the deck. Creative chaos. I feel like there's something, because this card sometimes comes through as being like letting loose in some way of perhaps your unconscious power, or like some sort of gift that you have that you didn't know that you had. That's what that gnome talks about. So hold on, okay, so it is a trickster energy, which is interesting. Creative chaos, wild gifts, breaking habits and patterns. So breaking some sort of habit, I feel like, or pattern. Both of these are kind of tough energies, Taurus. I'm not gonna lie, like these two cards are like not the easiest. This is not an easy period of whatever it is that you're going through. I don't know, is this past or is this currently happening for you? But I feel like it is showing you something about your unconscious power, or Some sort of unexpected gift that you have is how it's coming through. Okay. Sorting out the truth from the fiction. Okay, so... Okay, can you laugh at yourself sometimes? That's what this is coming through here. Let that laughter carry you into new insights and new ways of being. So it's time to leap into the air, letting the earth turn beneath you and discover where you come down again. Reasonable risks are okay. Even unreasonable risks are probably okay. Use your head and look before you leap, of course, but do so understanding that the actual jump is likely to be very rewarding. No guarantees, but then there never really are anyway, no matter how pretty the paper they may seem to be printed on and the scroll work around the edge. In a reading, the presence of that gnome tells us that the forces of chaos are at work. Things may not be as they seem, and this may very well be a good thing. Look for the unexpected, find the opportunity in it, and go for it. He says that no matter how confused things may seem, there is a way to make them better, but it is a creative way, one that you haven't tried before. Think amazing new thoughts. Okay, so I feel like there may be trickery happening in some way. I don't know in what way that is, but I feel like it's talking about like taking a leap of faith on something that perhaps there's not a lot clear about it. I was kind of getting this energy of like an opportunity that feels like I don't know, it could be risky in some way. Like it feels kind of like if it works out, great, right? Like if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, I feel like it would be, I don't know. Maybe they're not even trying to get you to think about what if it doesn't work out. It's like don't think about that. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I feel like it's going to work out though. That's the thing. It's like even an unreasonable risk is probably okay. That's what it is coming through as. It's like there's perhaps not a downside to this, right? It's like even if the risk doesn't pay off, it's kind of like it's not really going to affect you negatively either. I don't know. Maybe not. That's the thing. It's kind of like you got to take a chance on it. Something that you have to take a chance on. Because I feel like it is something about like a gift that you have that is okay, interesting. These are not easy cards. Again, sorry for I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. These are uncomfortable cards. 7 of Swords, 5 of Cups. Well, there's the coyote, right? The trickster energy. I feel like Taurus, there's a trickster energy around you. Because of that story that's coming in the first card is the 7 of Swords, 5 of Cups. Like, somebody who is perhaps trying, I don't know if they're trying to or whatever it is. I don't know what their intention is. Let's just phrase it like that. I don't know what the intention of this person is, but it feels like there's trickster energy or like something dishonest about what it is that they're doing, perhaps in a way that is negatively impacting you in some way, is how it's coming through. Like that's the story. Like if I'm right about what happened there, because of course I don't have proof about that. There's no evidence to support that intuition, but it was like all I know is that I did not put that chemical there. That it's that kind of thing where it's like, maybe there's something about like, but I feel like if there is something like that happening to you where somebody around you is being dishonest or deceitful or is in sort of a trickster energy, somehow it is revealing some sort of gift that you have. And for me, it was, it could have to do with, I just remember feeling like so angry and like alarmed. Like it felt like my like a siren was going off here with the chaos, like in my energy, right? Like it was, so again, because that was sort of, I see that time in my life as being sort of like dark night of the soul, like the worst of the worst, in terms of everything that was going on, but that even through those times, so it could be that if you're in that period now, which I absolutely sympathize with, it's something about like there's some sort of hidden gift that you are perhaps being like initiated into through the really tough experience. That's how it's coming through, like some sort of gift, unexpected, or that's like it's just coming through, that like a gift that is born out of challenge. Okay, I'm gonna pull more cards because those two are like really tough energies to start off a reading, Taurus. So perhaps you're going through something like that, or that you're revisiting a past energy like that. 8 of Coins. Hold on, I'm going to get more cards to clarify that one. Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands. Well, that's interesting. I feel like that 8 of Coins is not yours, but let me get more cards. Okay, so the 8 of Coins, the story that comes through with this one talks about somebody who has to do some sort of work in order to free somebody that they love. That's what this card, the story that comes through with this card. So like someone she loves is like trapped or something. I can't remember exactly what the story is. And so she has to do some sort of like task or something in order to free that person. So that's sort of what's coming through here. I don't know if that's you or someone else, Taurus. Maybe you are doing some sort of work that is difficult or is uncomfortable or unpleasant, but in service of somebody else so that they can be free from something. But what you have here next is Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands. This is what I feel like the gift is for you. Ace of Swords. It's coming through as like being able to sort out truth and deception is what I just heard. Perhaps that's a gift that you have, like being able to tell when somebody is lying, or when somebody is not being honest, or when there is some sort of deception or trickery involved. And I feel like it's coming through very unexpectedly for you. Like, it may actually be something to do with like an intuitive gift or something that you have. Ace of Wands as well. This one to me talks about like not intuition, inspiration or creativity, or being able to use the energy that that you're receiving or that you've been given and create something out of it. So it could be, especially because it's wands and it's coming through with all this fire. So it could be causing anger. It could also be like activating some aspect of you, or causing you to take some sort of action is how it's coming through, or motivating you to create something or to do something, or with the Singer of Courage as well at the bottom of the deck, it feels like create something. What? That doesn't feel quite like the right word, or maybe it could be some sort of like unexpected gift of creativity. Like maybe you're a really great painter or something like that. Something to do with creativity, I feel like. That feels like it's unexpected for you. Okay, 7 of Swords, 5 of Cups. Empress. Knight of Coins. So that's you, Taurus, right? That's Empress energy is you. Or it's maybe that's not you, but it feels kind of like, because Empress is actually Venus energy. It rules over Taurus and Libra. So I feel like maybe that's not you, but it's like this is perhaps like a gift, or like it could be like a new guide or something like that, or could even be a person as well. Perhaps somebody who is teaching you something, or providing clarity on something that perhaps, because it's coming out underneath the 7 of Swords, they're providing clarity about something that was causing either pain or anger or fear or alarm, panic maybe, about something that happened to you, is how it's coming through. Because with the Knight of Coins, I actually feel like this is you today, Taurus. Normally I see Knight of Coins as being a Virgo energy. So the Virgo reading I did a few days ago might be beneficial to you. It might have a message for you in there. Interesting. He's holding 2 arrows. Maybe you need to send, maybe you need to say something about, no, it's not that. It's, what is the arrow? Maybe you can provide clarity to somebody about a situation that they're in. King of Swords. Okay, King of Swords. This one, well, it looks, it's a griffin, right? Like it's a mystical creature, griffin, who is able to discern truth. Perhaps truth of character is how it's coming through. Especially because this one, because I always think about in Harry Potter, Buckbeak, who is this griffin, where in order to like approach the griffin, you must first sort of bow to him, right? Like to show respect and deference. Is that the right word? Like show respect to this energy. And if you are true of character, then you are allowed to approach, right? Like it's kind of coming through like that. I don't know if that's you, Taurus, or like somebody else that you know, or something like that. Perhaps there's somebody revealing to you someone else's character that perhaps you had an intuition about, but you were maybe doubting yourself because of, I don't know, for whatever reason, right? Whatever reason, maybe you were doubting yourself about this character. The sun coming out next underneath the Ace of Swords. So it is coming through with a lot of clarity. And knowledge, like understanding something. Getting some sort of truth or clarity about perhaps a situation that had deception or trickery involved. It's like your opportunity to tell the truth about something. 10 of coins. Because it is kind of like telling a story here with the 10 of coins. I see this one as being sort of like a wise teacher within the community, right? Who shares their experience or their stories. Maybe you're going to be writing a story, or there's something about some sort of like creativity or something like that. Or it's interesting because the way that this card here, there's like the storyteller here has like a pipe, right? You can sort of see like this wisp of smoke, and it kind of looks like it's in the 7 of Swords. There's smoke here, and the coyote's running away from that. I actually feel like you're through sharing your story or through communicating something, maybe in whatever way that is, doesn't have to be through words or whatever. Especially with the Ace of Wands, it's like communicating something perhaps in a creative way, or in a way that's like unexpected, or that has something to do with your intuitive gifts, whatever that may be for you, that removes the trickster energy from your community, is how it's coming through, or from a group or whatever. Maybe somebody is gaslighting you. Hierophant, 10 of Wands, 2 of Cups. So there you are, Taurus, the Hierophant. This is so this one comes in with this energy of like welcoming and belonging, right? That everybody belongs in this space. Unless, of course, they're doing something that is sabotaging you actively. Then that's sort of like the welcome is rescinded in that case. Well, that's the thing though. I feel like, so after something like trust is broken, it's kind of like you have to put up boundaries with that, right? Like, if somebody breaks your trust or does something to perhaps even actively cause harm to you or your community or family or group or whatever, it's kind of like you have to set a boundary there. Like that kind of energy is not welcome here. With the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Cups, I feel like maybe there's an energy here of like protecting somebody that you love. The Fool at the bottom of the deck. I feel like maybe somebody made like a sacrifice or something to protect somebody that they love. That's how it's coming through. One reason why that story is coming through is because the very beginning with this colleague that I suspected was sabotaging me in some way, who tried to anyways, but that I actually, part of my just like how I was raised and the things that I experienced and went through, that like if somebody tries to do that kind of thing to me, my impulse is to actually befriend them. Is to befriend them. Because I mean, I have quite a bit of Scorpio placements in my chart. Not my main 3, but I have other planets that are in Scorpio. And usually that how I see that energy in myself is that I tend to want to dig deeper in things that are potentially not good for me. So that, but it's kind of coming through as like keeping your enemies closer, that kind of thing. Interesting, Taurus. So maybe there's something about like, well, there's maybe something about, maybe there's something that you know about someone, or that your intuition's telling you about someone that is actually perhaps like, you know that this person should not be in your space, but there's an energy here of like keeping your enemies closer, right? Like, that's the thing. Maybe that's not something that you want to do, or that is requiring a shift in some way, or it's like it's not benefiting you anymore to have that energy in your space, is how it's feeling to me. So it's like maybe putting up a boundary between you and someone who is, they don't have to be sabotaging, but it's just kind of like, it's not beneficial to you, right? Because the way that it's coming through here is you have the 7 of Swords and the 5 of Cups, which is like when you're near this energy, it puts you in the 5 of Cups, which is like feeling really low emotionally, or feeling like despair. Despair is how it's coming through. Or it doesn't have to be that, but like any sort of like negative emotion, right? Like, if you're trying to figure out why somebody is doing something like that, it's kind of just like, don't even go there. It's not going to help you to know that. It's not going to help you to know that reason. But I mean, you know, everything's, you have a choice in this. Wild animals. This is a card that tells me, absolutely trust your intuition. It feels like it's not logical information. It's not like something that you can prove, or there's no evidence to support something that you know to be true. It's like trusting in that. Especially if it's any sort of intuition that has to do with like your physical body, like how you feel when you are around a certain person, right? Like, because it could be some information that's coming in like physically in your body, like how you feel. I don't know how else to describe that. Like it's an intuition that is physical in nature. Synchronicity. Synchronicity talks to me about, like, there are no coincidences, right? 36 and 35. There are no coincidences. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.